Hi, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Nick Cosgrove, and I am back with my coaching reality series called From a Coach's Perspective. Today, I want to list off my top five gym pet peeves that piss me the hell off. And these are pet peeves that have bothered me for 20 plus years. I've got quite a few, but I try to keep these episodes to 15, 20 minutes max, so I'm not going to list off all of them. But the reason I want to go through these pet peeves today is if you yourself are doing any of my pet peeves, stop. But more importantly, if you yourself feel that other people are doing these pet peeves, maybe, call them out on it too, because I feel like the gym should be a place where we can all train, we can all work out together and respect each other's space. Okay. And keep it relatively clean, keep it organized so that everyone can have a good workout. When things are in disarray, when things are dirty, when things are smelly, when things are not put in their proper place, it makes it for a very difficult workout for someone when they're trying to keep their training intensity relatively high. They can't find a certain piece of equipment because it's not in the right spot. They can't work in on on a certain exercise because someone's sitting there on their phone for 15, 20 minutes, not even doing the exercise. So I feel like there's that lack of respect now that people have. And I blame a lot of it on technology for sure. But I feel like sometimes people need to be brought back down and say, hey, smarten up. So I want to go through my top five pet peeves that have pissed me off for years that people do in the gym. You yourself, you might have some of your own. If you do, drop them in the comments. I want to hear them because maybe there's some that I'm not thinking about. But because I try to keep these episodes to 15, 20 minutes, I know sometimes I run a little bit extra when I go on my rants. I'm going to keep it as brief as I can. And again, if you yourself are doing any of these pet peeves, think about it. Please stop and try to respect the space for everyone because we're all in the gym to work out and make our bodies better, become more healthy and fit. And it's very hard to do that when things are in disarray, when people are not cleaning up after themselves, when people are not practicing proper hygiene. So we want to make sure that the gym is a place where people can lift weights in an intense fashion, but they can also enjoy the training experience. All right. Okay. So my number one gym pet peeve, people who do not put their shit away. This drives me insane. If you're strong enough to lift it, you're strong enough to put it back. The amount of times that I come into my gym and I see barbells loaded up with 45-pound plates, the gym is empty. Where did you go? You just did, maybe you were doing a bench press, maybe you're doing a deadlift, whatever you're doing, and you just left two 45-pound plates on the barbell and walked out. Are you stupid? I mean, I don't get that. Same thing when I'm walking into my gym and I see dumbbells on the floor. I'm like, the dumbbells don't go on the floor, the dumbbells go on the rack. There's places for the dumbbells. There's designated numbers on the rack for the dumbbells go. There should be no reason why a 60-pound dumbbell is in a 20-pound placeholder. Doesn't make sense to me. And there's definitely no reason that dumbbells should be on the floor. They should be on the rack, right? So clean up after yourself. I remember when I used to train in commercial gyms, it would piss me off when I'd go to a leg press, or I would see an elderly lady, for example, going to the leg press, and it would be loaded up with 45-pound plates. This lady is not going to be doing eight 45-pound plates per side. She might do maybe one 45-pound plate per side. She's got to clear all those plates now to do her set. That is so disrespectful. So when you're done with an exercise, clear your goddamn weights, period. If you have a problem clearing your weights, oh, I forgot, before you leave the gym, turn around, look around, and make sure that you cleaned up after yourself. If you didn't, go back, clean up after yourself. Put your weights away. That to me is one of the most disrespectful and ignorant things that people can do in the gym. Now, if you're a client of mine, for example, if you have a personal trainer, you don't have to put your equipment away because your trainer will put your equipment away. Or I would hope your trainer would put your equipment away because that's part of the service that I provide. But if you're someone who just trains on your own and you don't have a trainer, guess what? No one's there to clean up after you. So put your goddamn weights away. Make sure you clear your barbells. All right. And clean up after yourself. Nobody wants to go on a bench after you if there's a big pile of sweat there, right? So wipe it down. If the gym usually has, they have like sprays that you can clean it with. They have paper towels. I provide all my clients with towels for the benches, so they don't have to worry about it. But yeah, wipe it down afterwards. Nobody wants to like sit in a pile of sweat, okay, or in a pool of sweat. So make sure that you put your weights away, clean up after yourself, period. There's no reason, no excuse that you cannot do that. If you truly cannot put your weights away, you do not belong in the gym, period. Told you, I'm going to go on a rant here. All right. All right. Pet peeve number two, people who stare at their phone in between sets. This drives me insane. Okay, I understand that, we get emails. I understand that we get important text messages. I get it. Okay. But there's a time and place. What I don't understand is when I see someone sitting on, let's say, a seated row, a cable machine, staring at a TikTok video, scrolling through Instagram reels, reading the latest highlights on CNN or Fox News. Like, what are you doing? Especially if the gym is busy and there's other people that might want to use that piece of equipment that you're just sitting on. And then I'll have people say to me, well, I'm resting. No, no. A rest is 45 seconds to a minute, then you're good to go again. Okay. But when you're scrolling, when you're viewing videos, when you're responding to emails, responding to text messages, that 45-second to 1 minute rest period easily turns into 2, 3, 5 minutes. I've seen it time and time again. And a lot of people don't even realize because they get so distracted by their phones. So they don't even see it. And they have no idea. They're so oblivious to what's going on around them. Not to mention, if you take that long in between your sets, you do risk injury because all you're doing is you're warming up, you're cooling down, you're warming up, you're cooling down. You do not want to train a cold muscle. This is why it's always smart to start with lighter weights and work your way up doing pyramid sets, right? So you want to keep the intensity high. I never, ever take longer than a minute between my sets. There's zero reason for me to do that. I'm constantly moving. If I see something in use, I'm like, okay, well, that person's using that piece of equipment right now. I'm going to use that, but I'm already thinking about it for my next exercise. So I'm good to go. Okay. If I really have to use that piece of equipment, I will ask the person, how many more sets do you have? Or working with the person. But I can't stand working in with someone who is taking 3 minutes in between sets, scrolling on Instagram and looking at TikTok videos. So the phones, again, there's no reason to have your phone out during your workout. You need to change your music. That takes less than 15 seconds. I've done that before. I'll change my Spotify mix. Honestly, 15 seconds, done. That's it. Okay. It takes nothing away. I might be resting while I'm doing it, but I'm still taking my 45-second to 60-second rest period. So stop scrolling through Instagram, stop looking at TikTok videos, stop checking the news, stop replying to emails, text messages. If you truly have to respond to an email or a text message, if it's that important, go do it off the gym floor. Then someone else can use that piece of equipment. Done. Okay, simple as that. Listen, I have clients that sometimes have to take a call. That does happen sometimes. They excuse themselves, they leave the gym floor. If someone else needs to use the piece of equipment that we're using, no problem. I let them use it. Okay, and I'll say, you know what, we'll come back to that because we're giving it up. You want to use it? No problem. This person has to take a phone call, it's yours. So get off the goddamn phones. All right. Pet peeve number 3. People that circuit train during peak hours. Another one that pisses me off. This is so disrespectful. There are times, let's face it, gyms are busy between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and between 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We all know this. And sometimes there's a lunch hour rush as well, right? We all know this. So, in order to be mindful and respectful of the space, you shouldn't be supersetting or circuit training large circuits when the gym is packed and you're occupying 3 or 4 different pieces of equipment. Again, totally disrespectful. Okay, so if you are, say, doing, let's say, a circuit and you're doing chest and back, maybe you're doing an incline barbell bench press and you're going to a seated row, then you're going to a dumbbell fly, then you're going to a lat pull down, and you're saving all these stations. Maybe you're putting towels in all these stations so people know you're using it. Well, that's not fair because if you're doing a bench press, you got 3 other stations that are sitting there empty during peak hours when people want to utilize that equipment. Even myself, when I'm at my private facility, I'm very mindful of the peak hours for the trainers, for the tenants I share the space with. So I know, I'm like, I even tell my clients, I'm like, you know what, we are training during peak hours, so our circuits are not going to be as large. If I'm training people at 10 o'clock in the morning when the gym is empty, yeah, I'll throw in circuits of 6 to 8 stations, no problem. There's nobody in the gym. But when it's 5 o'clock rolls around, or when 5 o'clock rolls around, or 6 o'clock rolls around, I know the gym's going to be busy. So, out of respect for my fellow gym members, for other trainers, and for tenants who I share the space with, I always make sure I'm mindful of making my circuit small and making sure that, for example, my circuit might be an incline barbell press, but I'll do a bent over barbell row because we actually just need 2 barbells. We got tons of barbells at my gym, tons. So we don't need to occupy 2 squat racks. So we don't need to use the cables. All right. So, or if I am going to use a cable, I'm going to do a superset, I'm going to be moving quickly. And I'm going to allow people to work in with me. I'm not going to be like, no, that's mine. Don't take it. Okay. So learn to share the equipment, but at the same time, look around. Peak hours, you should not be doing circuit training. You should not be doing supersets. You should not be doing trisets. Stick to basic straight set or do what I do with my clients and you can do some free weight movements. So for example, if I'm doing an incline dumbbell bench press, I'll flip someone around right after and have them do a reverse dumbbell row. So we're using the same piece of equipment and we're doing dumbbells. That's not taking up space from anybody. We're using a bench, we're using dumbbells. That's a smart way to superset and it's a great way to respect other people in the gym. All right. So don't do stupid shit during peak hours. Save those for the times the gyms are slow. All right. So if you say, well, I work 9 to 5, I can't go when the time is slow. Well, guess what? No circuit training for you. Or learn how to train smarter. So learn how to, okay, how can I utilize this bench that I'm on with just dumbbells? Or how can I utilize this piece of cable equipment with maybe just one handle? So for example, if I'm doing a lat pull down, maybe I'll superset that for a reverse grip lat pull down. There you go. Do that. All right. So think outside the box and be mindful and be respectful of other people in the space that you're sharing with. Pet peeve number 4, people who do not wash their gym clothes properly. I'm not talking about BO, although sometimes there are some people who have some pretty strong BO. Listen, we've all had BO at one point. I've had BO. Everyone's had BO at one point. Okay. And if you say, oh, I've never had BO, you're bullshit. We've all had BO at some point. I'm not talking about BO necessarily. I'm talking about dirty laundry. The amount of people that I have seen, or I should say I could smell, that come into a gym, thank God none of my clients, but the amount of people that I can smell, it's the clothes. They smell dirty. And I'm like, did you even wash that? And there are people that I know. I know this because I work in a building where people have locker rooms and I see where they put their gym clothes. They just put it in the locker, close the locker, and then come back the next day and put the same shirt on again. I've seen this. And once you've worn that t-shirt once, it's done. It needs to go in the wash. Not only does it need to go in the wash, if you're someone like me, I use Tide Pods. For all my gym clothes, I use 2 Tide Pods. My workout clothes, 2 Tide Pods. All my other clothes, like my clothes that I go out with, my jeans, my sweaters, all that stuff, one Tide Pod. Okay. But if I'm wearing like a gym t-shirt, I'm gonna use 2 Tide Pods for all my gym clothes, okay? Because it's that gross. You get sweaty. The gym shirts get a little bit moldy if you don't wash them correctly. All right. Or if you don't wash them at all in some cases. So once you've worn a gym shirt once or gym shorts once, that's it. It's one use. You got to wash it. Okay. Because you might think, oh, it doesn't smell that bad. But others around you can smell it. And people are usually polite and they don't want to say anything. They don't want to, it's an awkward situation to confront someone about, smelling. But I can tell you, I've had to do it before with people. Again, thank God none of my clients, but I've had to do it with other gym members. I'm like, you need to wash your clothes. And like, well, I do. I'm like, yeah, but you need to wash them more than once a week. You can't just bring them home every Friday and wash them and bring them back for Monday and wear them Monday to Friday again. You got to wash your clothes. And I know that seems pretty obvious, but again, the amount of people that I have smelled over the years in gyms that, again, it's not body odor, it's dirty laundry. All right. So dirty laundry. Once this is done for a workout, that's it. Time to wash it. All right. Even for me, like a shirt like this. I'm not training myself in a shirt, I should say, but I'll train clients, right? I have my training shirts I coach clients in, and I have my shirts that I work out in. The shirts that I even train my clients in, even though I myself am not working out, I still use 2 Tide Pods for them because I'm demonstrating exercises. I'm in the gym. I am sweating a little bit. So for basically any clothes that I sweat in, it's 2 Tide Pods. All right. Pretty simple. So think about that. You might say, oh, it's not that bad, but others around you can smell you. So make sure that your clothes are clean. Once you wear something once, do not wear it again until it's gone through a wash and a dry. All right. And pet peeve number 5, people who don't respect boundaries. Men, you guys, and I include myself in this, although I don't do this, are guilty of this. A lot of guys are guilty of this. Okay. The amount of women that I train over the years that don't feel comfortable training at a commercial gym because guys are either staring awkwardly at them, guys are approaching them nonstop, guys are checking them out, asking them out. I'm like, listen, there is a time and place for that. In my opinion, it doesn't belong in the gym. But if someone is not showing you the signs, don't approach them. And it can go both ways. So, for example, if someone has their headphones on, there's a good chance when you're around, if they're not taking their headphones out, they don't want to talk to you. They want to train. That's not rude. They might smile at you to be like pleasant, like hello, if they see you all the time. That's it. But respect the gym and respect their workouts. So when I see people who are regulars at my gym, not clients of mine, but who are regulars who come in and they've got their headphones on, I might give them a quick wave or a quick smile, and that's it. I don't get into a deep conversation with them because I respect their workout and I want them to respect my workout. Now, if someone does need to talk to me, maybe it's another trainer, maybe one of the owners of my gym, or maybe a client, that's fine. Like I'll take my headphones out and I'll talk to them during my workout. I personally myself, I don't like to be bothered during my workout. And I know that can sound like, oh, he's such a dick, but I'm so focused. And I've been told time and time again that I have resting bitch face when I work out. Good. It's not that I don't want to be approachable because I am quite an approachable person, but when I am working out, I don't want to be approached because it takes my mind out of the workout. The last thing I want to do is get under a bar and squat 315 before and have someone talking to me about their stocks or about their date last night or about how hungover they are or problems they're having in their relationship. I don't want to hear it. I need to focus on making sure that I can squat with perfect form so I don't hurt my back. I need to make sure that I can do that set properly and execute the proper muscle belly so I get the most out of the exercise. I can't do that if I'm being distracted by someone talking to me. All right. So respect boundaries in the gym. And the reason I say men are more guilty of this because they are. I've seen it. And I've seen guys doing some pretty inappropriate things in the gyms over the years. And working with a lot of females, I can tell you that one of the reasons that they come and they work with myself at a private facility is for that reason. They don't want to be bothered. And they're not bothered in a private facility, but at a commercial gym, not the best place. And I'm not saying that you can't meet your significant other at the gym. That does happen, right? People do meet each other at the gym and start dating. That can happen. But there's usually signs. If someone's giving you all this clear signs to come in, the headphones are off and they want to talk to you, do it. Okay. But at the same time, be very mindful of the space because maybe somebody else wants that piece of equipment. And if you and your potential girlfriend or wife are having a 15, 20-minute long drawn out conversation, that's also disrespectful to someone else who might want to utilize, let's say, that squat rack, right? Or that pec deck or that seated row. So again, that comes back down to be very mindful of the space that you're in and you're there to share the space with everyone. All right. So again, I wanted to keep this video brief because I'm really trying to keep my coaching reality episodes 15, 20 minutes max. The Q&As I run for 30, 35 minutes, but I could go on and on because I have a lot. And yes, these are first world problems. I understand that. There's much bigger problems going on in the world, especially right now. But I feel that if we can all just be a little bit more mindful and respectful of the space that we're utilizing, your workouts will be more pleasant for everyone. All right. So really take note of this and like, okay, am I doing any of this stuff? Am I not putting my weights away? Am I sitting on my phone in between sets? Am I not cleaning up after myself? Am I wearing dirty gym clothes to the gym? I'm not washing my clothes properly. Am I being inappropriate with other gym members, or am I trying to flirt with girls or flirt with boys, whatever, or trying to draw them into long, drawn out conversations? So be very aware of your surroundings, respect your boundaries, respect the space, and make sure that you yourself are trying to practice the utmost best gym etiquette you can. Because if you do, others will follow. One of the things before I leave, one of the things I implemented at my gym is when I'm done with a cable. So let's say I'm doing a lat pull down. I actually take that attachment off the cable. The reason I do that is so people actually know, especially if I am doing, let's say, a superset, they know I'm done. And what that's done is other people in my gym, they now do that because they've seen me do that over and over again. They're like, you know what? I should do that too because Nick's taking down that attachment or Nick's wiping down that attachment. And people see it and then they start to copy it because what happens is they don't want to be that one person that doesn't do it. Nobody wants to be that one asshole that doesn't wipe down the equipment when everyone else is doing it or doesn't clean up after themselves after everyone else is cleaned up after themselves. So if you yourself are doing it, others will follow. All right. And honestly, very rarely do I have problems at my gym now because of that, because we've put in those standards. All right. So other people are living up to them. But if you are like, someone else will put my weights away, someone else will clean that bench, whatever, I don't care if I'm on my phone, then everyone else is. And when you want to go use a piece of equipment, now it's dirty or something's missing, or you're waiting for something because someone else is on their phone for 15, 20 minutes. Okay. So what goes around comes around. So the more you practice it yourself, the more others will do it themselves. Anyway, that's it for my top 5 pet peeves of this week's coaching reality episode. This episode will be going up on Wednesday, April the 29th. As a reminder, if you have any questions related to your training program, your nutritional plan, supplements you're currently taking, not taking, or considering taking, please feel free to email me those questions at nick@foreverfitperformance.com, or you can DM me on my Instagram at fitcosgrove_. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting my YouTube channel, my online coaching business, my in-house personal training business here in Vancouver, British Columbia. I truly do appreciate all the support, all the feedback, and all the comments I get from all of you. I really do. It keeps me motivated to continue to do what I love, which is train people and help people become more healthy and fit. Anyways, thank you all again, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.